Hi, everybody. How are you doing today? It's a beautiful morning here. A quick visual descriptor before we get moving too far. I have long brown hair, glasses. I'm wearing a pink shirt, silver bracelet, coffee mug in hand, some beautiful trees behind me, the river in the far distance, and there's birds. There's some sunshine softly coming through the leaves of those trees, sound of flowing water. It's wonderful here. Absolutely wonderful. And we are in the gazebo in the public park space. I hope you have your coffee, tea, whatever it may be, whatever gets your day going. Of course, I have my coffee. I'm very preferential to a nice warm cup of comfort, and this is comforting. Very comforting. Oh. Set that down. No, I want one more sip. I can't help myself. One more sip of that cup of comfort. So a quick question, and if you've already seen the name of the stream, you know what the question is. Are you working for the weekend? Let's give that some consideration. Are you working for the weekend? Are you counting the hours until the end of each day? Marking the days off until you can get to a day or two off to yourself? I mean, let's really consider this. There's 7 days in a week, and many of us are giving 5 or 6 of them away. We're selling them. Let's be fair, that's really what it is. We are selling that time to someone else. But do you feel like you're selling your time at a fair value? And also, if you're working an 8-hour day and hopefully getting 8 hours of sleep, probably commuting, maybe it takes you, and I'm pretty sure this is roughly kind of average, so maybe about an hour commute. That may or may not be average, but about an hour commute. Let's just assume that. That means out of 24 hours, you get 6. 6. 6 hours to yourself every day. And what do you do at that time? Well, I'm sure, like most of us, you have to do things like clean your home, make yourself food, do your laundry, get ready for the next day. Maybe, if you're lucky, veg out and watch like an hour of TV or watch a movie or something. Scroll on social media. It really depends person to person. Some of us are going ahead and doing things like hustling in our off hours, side gigs. So then you're selling even more of your time, aren't you? All of this in some sort of attempt to get ahead. I'm pretty sure we, for the most part, are selling our time to get ahead. And then if you are doing a side hustle, you're probably getting far less than 8 hours of sleep every night, maybe 6. Because you're spending extra time, maybe to put in a full 8-hour day after your 8-hour day. And that can be rough. Morning over there on Twitch. I'm so glad you can join me here. And of course, just so everyone knows, I'm joining you now on Twitch, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube via Restream. But I'm so glad to have you join me. You know, we have a great time here outside. But what is your time worth? And how much of your time are you allowing yourself to keep? Now, for some of us, we offset this in some ways. Maybe we live closer to work. Maybe we get a 30-minute commute or a 10-minute commute, depending on what the distance is between your job and yourself. But that's not always a possibility either, because if you work in a city, it can be quite expensive, and maybe your job doesn't actually pay you enough to live adjacent to where you work. That's kind of a strange thought, isn't it? It can be more expensive to live near a large business, then further away. Maybe a topic for a different day. The point is, if you're working for the weekend, really, you're admitting a couple of things. The first thing is you probably are not selling your time for what it's worth. If you just can't wait for time away from work, maybe that job isn't bringing you the kind of value that you hoped it would. But it says something else too if you're working for the weekend. Maybe you're completely and totally doing the wrong thing with your life. And that's tough. There's no getting around it. That is an incredibly tough position to be put in. Because once we admit we're doing the wrong thing with our life, then we have to ask, what should I be doing? For some of us, we know. For some of us, we know exactly what we would rather be doing. And maybe it has nothing to do with being what's often called being a productive member of society. Maybe we want our own happiness, our own joy. In the US, at least, and I know some European countries, we get like summer vacation when we're kids going to school. And even in college and universities, you get these long break periods off in between semesters. And then when you get older and you enter the workforce, that pretty much disappears. Unless you work in something like education or certain seasonal jobs. People in construction, obviously, at least up in the northern parts of the US, they don't work during the winter for the most part. Or maybe they take on a different job. But you think about it, you think about all those summers, all those long breaks, and how useful they would be as an adult. And I might be getting off topic, or it seems like such, but why don't we maintain this kind of thought process in jobs when we get older? Why don't people run businesses in a way where their employees are paid very well, but for seasonal work? I'm sure there's lots of reasons. Just throwing out some concepts, some ideas, some thoughts. The end of the day, though, if you're working for the weekend, maybe it's time to reevaluate your career. Maybe it's time to reevaluate what your time is worth. It can be difficult to do things like ask for a raise or inquire about benefits or switch jobs. And depending on where you are in your country or your city and what your skill set is, maybe a different job, a different career, or even different hours just aren't possible right now. But that doesn't mean that you cannot plan for that. Because if you're working that 8-hour day, and if you have that 1-hour commute, and if you're only getting 6 hours to yourself every day, you're not leaving much time for you. And it's never a bad time to consider using some of the time that's left for you at the end of the day to plan to get more time back. Sell your time for a higher value. Reorganize your priorities if you have to, because if you are not a priority in your life, then your priorities are most certainly off balance. All of that aside, though, make sure that you're enjoying the time that you do get. Spend it with family, spend it with friends. Do the things that make you happy. And when you get to the weekends, utilize them to the full potential of whatever relaxes, rests, or puts a smile on your face. Now, get yourself an extra cup of coffee, tea, whatever it may be. You deserve that extra cup of. You're awesome. And before I get going today, I would just like to tell you about my website and my digital gallery, of which there's going to be a link somewhere nearby so that you can visit it and you can check out my original art, my art prints, my abstracts, my charcoal work, as well as find a page where you can go ahead and sign up to my monthly art workshops. Now, there have been new art prints that have been put up. There's original works on that website. There's also a little fun page. If you scroll to the bottom of the website, you're going to see subscribe, and you can actually subscribe for as low as $5 a month to be a friend of the gallery. And as a friend of the gallery, what possible benefits could you get? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. If you're a friend of the gallery and you're subscribed every month, you're going to be getting an invitation to every single one of those wonderful art workshops. You're also going to be keeping up on news and things that are happening, going on. Now, I do have a newsletter in the works that'll come out as soon as it's ready, but it's not yet. But you'll still be in the know. You'll find out about new art, new books, new films, all sorts of other interesting things that are happening. And you'll be a VIP, as it were, for every single one of those art workshops. But you can set your subscription level to whatever value you want. It's open-ended. If you want it to be $5 a month, it can be. If you want it to be $20 a month, it can be. There's something nice about there being flexibility for you to choose the value of your subscription. But thank you so much for being here today. Please go check out my website and my digital gallery. Consider adding some art to your life and expanding your world. But as always, take care, be excellent, and I will see you all again very soon, okay? And get that extra cup up. Bye, everybody.